Welcome to the Upshot, multi-world disc golf podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield on this Tuesday, July 2nd. Look, it's the summer. No one wants to work. If you work on Fridays in the summer, you got to just tell your employer, no more of this. We're taking the day off. We've all agreed in the office that we're taking the day off, and there's nothing you can do to make us work. And if you make us come to work, we're just going to sit and click around on our phones all day. Be honest, folks. Be honest.
Charlie,
4th of July coming up, though.
I think you've been in self-employed land a little bit too long.
We are technically a no Fridays office at Ultiworld. Now, there are plenty of Fridays where work gets done.
Right.
But on like an average week with nothing going on the weekend, employees can take the day off. We work 4 days a week.
Love it.
And plenty of weekends.
And
so
lots and lots
trying to give some people some time back.
Yeah.
Josh, what are your fourth plans?
Just gonna do a barbecue with family. I'm in the parade for city council, so that's pretty common. Definitely go get a couple rounds of disc golf in, enjoy some nice weather. It's supposed to be like 105 next week.
Oh,
so this week's supposed to be pretty moderate. So I want to just go get some disc golf in and then not leave my house from next week. So,
are you in the mountains or no?
Like kind of. I mean,
what's your elevation?
I think it's 4,000 feet.
And it's gonna be 105 degrees.
Yeah,
at 4,000 feet.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we're 4,500 feet.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What's it going to be in the valley? It's going to be like unlivable.
I mean, that's 4,500 feet. Like, we are in a valley. We're surrounded by mountains. We're in like the valley, but
that's crazy though.
Yeah, 105. It's 105 in Idaho does feel different than even 85 or 90. In places that have humidity, right?
Of course, yeah.
Very.
I'm well. I grew up in Albuquerque, and now I live in New York City, so I've lived both. I lived in DC for a summer. That's a bad place. Don't live there in the summer. I used to bike to work, and I would have to change clothes after my 10-minute commute on my bike. I'm serious. That's disgusting.
I believe you.
8 a.m. I bike to work, soaked.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about the dry heat is that it's very easy, like, get in front of an AC unit, get in some shade, and you're good. And it's fine. So, but...
I wonder, do you have this there? Swamp cooler?
We do have swamp coolers, yeah.
Swamp cooler.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be like, what the hell is a swamp cooler? Definitely not a thing in New York City.
No. Yeah, we have those.
Swamp cooler, extremely efficient cooling in dry climates. It basically pours water over like pads, and then a fan brings air in through the water-filled pads, and that cools the air off enough to cool your house.
Yes.
So it's extremely cheap because you're not having to refrigerate the air. You're just bringing air through the water. If you did that in New York, you would just have humid air pouring into your house at 100 degrees.
Gross.
We got a big one. I was out on vacation, and I feel like I missed everything.
I think you did too. Last week was not a good week to only have one show.
Oh my gosh.
They decided to load us up on things to talk about. One thing, Charlie, this is tangentially disc golf related that I wanted to hit real fast. Free agency has started for both the NBA as well as the NHL. And Casey DeSmith, who is a disc golfer.
Our disc golf NHL friend.
Our disc golfer NHL friend is now a Dallas Stars.
Oh.
He'll be playing backup to Jake Ottinger.
You have a new favorite player.
I have a new favorite player. I need to get my my Dallas Stars A2 signed.
This is
by
a chance.
Smith.
We got to get him on the show. This is the moment, Josh.
This is the moment.
You're going to get him on the show. You're going to ship him the disc.
Yep.
You're going to ship him 2. Okay.
I've got 2.
One for him.
Yep.
One for him to sign and return to you in a self-addressed stamped package.
Yep. Exactly. That's the plan.
It's going to happen.
It's got to. Now that he's a Dallas Stars player, it has to.
My quest to get George Kittle on the show continues.
I forgot that's the quest. I don't know have we told people on the show that that's the quest? I think we've just talked about this.
I'm just announcing it right now that I have begun the quest.
After
so far, not happening, but I think we can get there.
Was it Gavin Babcock who posted his
He's
on
had
his story.
Kittle's done a couple of like
Yeah.
disc golf things. He was in a video with AB and Babcock and guys like playing a thing. So we're gonna keep knocking on some doors. All we're gonna do is interview terrible disc golfers who happen to be professional athletes.
That's the new brand of this show.
That's what we do. All right, let's get into this. Swedish Open. You looking for the Swedish Open talk? It's not happening here today. We did a Reacts last night. So check it out. Become a subscriber. I don't know. We did 30, 40 minutes on Swedish Open.
Yeah.
James Proctor gets his first Elite Series win. Silva Saarinen goes 5 in a row. 5 in a row.
Does not lose in the month of
Kind
June.
of blows the doors off people.
Yeah.
Evelina's putter is gone again, by the way, Josh. She's completely lost it.
Is it, maybe it'll come back though. I mean, there's
there's
hope that it'll come back now. So I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with Evelina.
Anyway, so Swedish Open's. We'll have Pursewatch for you a little bit later in the show, but we just have too much to do today to talk Swedish Open. So if you're looking for that chatter, discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe. Get access to all of our rapid reacts and other Inside the Circle shows. All the back catalog available immediately as soon as you subscribe. And you can join the Discord, which is the best place to talk disc golf. Okay, so what do we got to talk about first? Josh, I believe you touched on the show last week with Nate. Shout out to Nate, by the way, for coming on.
Yeah, lots of fun.
While he was in Europe. Where was he?
Iceland.
Iceland.
He was on
Is that
like
a
an
layover?
early vacation with his fiance.
Oh, he's vacationing. Oh, good. for
Yeah,
him.
so he's starting in
He took
Iceland.
time out of his vacation to come on the pod.
I know.
That guy's a grinder, man.
So, yeah, and but just more credit to Nate here. Nate was struggling to find reliable cell service. I think that 40-minute show took us almost like 3 hours to record.
Oh, my God.
So it was dropping and we were waiting for upload. So big shout out to Nate. He deserves all the credit in the world. Yes, he was on vacation before he goes and works the rest of the European events. Big thanks.
Very, very cool. But anyway, Väinö Mäkelä departs Prodigy.
Yep.
And we have subsequently found out that he is also signing with Innova, same as Kevin Jones, who departed Prodigy. Keep in mind, pretty good friendship between the owners of Prodigy and Innova, perhaps greasing the wheels a little bit for this. And there's been like, a little bit of a drip of information coming out now about things. Kale LaVisca talking to the guys over at the Tour Life podcast about some of the stuff going on with Kevin Jones. And we now have a general range for what Kevin was getting paid, $300,000 a year USD, as essentially a salary. Now, Josh, I think people might look at that and go, oh, what a horrendous deal for Prodigy. Why did they do such a thing? Well, think about when he signed this deal, Josh. We were at like, number one, peak Kevin Jones, top 5 player.
Yep.
And we're in the height of the pandemic market.
Yep.
Crazy sales numbers. Everybody's getting big deals, right?
Yeah,
Big contracts
top
flying
guys are
around.
getting $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$300K for Kevin Jones. I don't think that looks like a bad deal if you think about it in the context of that moment.
Correct.
Now, since then, I'm not sure that it's really worked out all that well because of the level of performance, but also Prodigy's just had some PR failures. Failures maybe not even strong enough of a word. Like, not only do they like catch the backlash of suing one of their own players with the Gannon stuff, but it becomes public, all of this information in these court documents about all the nasty things Gannon is saying that wouldn't have been otherwise made public had they not done that. So you kind of like, they won the battle, but did they lose the war?
You also have to remember all the nasty things that Prodigy said about its own players that became public.
Oh.
Like, if Gannon leaves, we have no A-tier players left. And you got Väinö and Kevin who are like, well, I guess I'm going to go make the A-team somewhere else then.
Crazy, man. So, look, I don't think it's a complete shock that they tried to get out of that contract. I don't think we really know I mean, Kale basically seemed to insinuate that there were performance metrics in there that allowed Prodigy to get out of the deal. And we kind of talked about that as being a possibility, that there were like, an opt-out option if, certain benchmarks didn't get hit. And it makes sense. Like, you'd want to put those things in place if you're the manufacturer, right? And it also sounds like Kevin was they made sure he had a landing spot at Innova before they got out of the deal. This is all, not confirmed. I don't know that we're necessarily going to get full confirmation on some of these things, but that is what has been said. So what's going on with Väinö then? Because
let me ask you one quick question, Charlie.
Sure.
Before I did not listen to the Tour Life podcast with Kale. Was Kale's presentation of like the Prodigy situation one that was like your classic PR, like, this is a setback, it's a move that we had to make, but things are great, Prodigy's great, our company's great, life's great? Like, did he try and smooth things over, or was it pretty grim and somber?
I'm not even totally I'm picking up stuff from our Discord and other places.
Okay.
I have not.
So you're pulling transcripts.
I was on vacation last week. Yeah,
right.
I'm pulling out the threads that other people have posted about.
Okay, all right.
I'm just being perfectly honest.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Kale situation, because the Väinö situation, because I mean, obviously these things coming back to back is going to open up a lot of questions. Now,
yes.
Here's the thing. There are other, and we're going to get into this, there's other stuff going on at Prodigy right now that puts this all in more context. Väinö told frisbeegolfmedia.fi, shout out to the Finnish Ulti-World Disc Golf. They're doing a great job.
They do great reporting.
They're grinding over there.
Yeah.
They're grinding. He told them that he's been trying to leave Prodigy since December of last year. So this is not a quick, we're snipping Kevin, we're snipping Väinö situation. He's been in these negotiations or discussions to get out for a while. He's been with the company almost 10 years. And he's been the face of Finnish disc golf. And maybe that's starting to shift to Nicholas, but I think Väinö is still the most famous, most popular player in Finland, and that's actually kind of a big deal. So, according to another Finnish podcast, whose name I'm going to struggle to pronounce, so I'm not going to try. It starts with a Y. Väinö was making about $135,000 a year in his deal with Prodigy.
Okay.
He told frisbeegolfmedia.fi, and this is a translation from Finnish, so it's not perfect, but, quote, "When we go to discuss our deals with the team manager, I'm not satisfied with taking a worse deal. I am really satisfied." Implication being, of course, that maybe he's getting more than $135,000 a year from Innova. Which is interesting. Because Väinö, again, his presence in Finland is much bigger than perhaps we might expect based on the level of play that we've seen in the U.S.
The other thing that I think is important about that consideration is that Prodigy has played a really important role in the professional scene in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the Prodigy disc, like the Prodigy Pro Tour, Prodigy Disc Pro Tour was one of the elite series events, elite series, I guess, one of the Pro Tours, absent of the DGPT having a more formalized presence in Europe. And so Prodigy has invested a lot of money into Finnish and European disc golf. You think also of we did the interview with Seppu Paju when he transitioned to more of the marketing role in Europe.
Yep.
And in Prodigy Europe, it's another Finnish investment. Väinö was 10 years with the company in the European Prodigy capacity. Like it's important to remember that, when you think of European brands, Latitude 64, Castaplast, those are the first ones I think that come to my mind. Prodigy has worked really hard. Discmania. Latitude 64 really is the first one that just pops into my head, right?
Sure.
But Prodigy has tried to make their brand, as synonymous with Europe as Latitude 64s.
Yeah, I mean they've been early to sponsoring the pro scene.
Mm-hmm.
Prodigy Disc Pro Tour has been a staple. I mean, for a while it was the predominant set of tournaments to play in Europe. That's changed with the Pro Tour's incursion.
Yes.
But no doubt. I mean, I think Prodigy's basically been the top dog in Europe. And when you look at sales figures from European retailers, you're seeing that. Now, the thing is, things have gotten worse. Now, we know this in general, right? The industry is in a downtrend.
Yep.
Disc sales are down across the board. No one is immune. And it's particularly been hitting Prodigy. So take a look. In Europe, even privately held companies have to report public data about sales, profits, etc. Here's a couple of charts. First, we'll take a look at their sales figures. I think this is fiscal year ending September. So these sales numbers are from September of 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So for those of you not watching on YouTube, which check us out on YouTube if you're just a podcast listener, sales went from 3.5 million euros in 2022 at Prodigy Europe, specifically their Europe side, to 1.8 million euros, down 50% through September 2023, and it's probably worse this year. Mm-hmm. Profit goes from about 400,000 euros in 2022 to a minus 200,000 euros, a $200,000 euro loss. And by the way, euro to USD it's pretty close right now. 200,000 euro loss in 2023. And so that's just the European snapshot. So actual tangible data. So, and you think about what's going on in the US and when that Gannon news didn't break until after this data. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing sales trends going down in 2023, and then you have this PR catastrophe with Gannon.
Well, hold on.
So, wait a minute.
Yes, it did.
This was last year, right?
Yeah, this because Gannon news broke in January of 23.
That's right.
And this is September.
I was thinking 2024, but you're totally right.
Yeah, but
Completely
6 months of the fiscal year had eclipsed before the Gannon news became big. 5 months. So.
Yeah. So here's I've been back from vacation, reaching out to some folks, mm-hmm. trying to get a sense of what's going on with Prodigy, because obviously you have these two very prominent player departures, and it seems like the financial struggles, it's not just on the sponsorship side. I mean, the disc sales trends have been a real problem. Inventory is sitting on shelves. Wholesale numbers are way down. And you're seeing Prodigy laying off a fairly large number of staff, both in the US and Europe. And I think there's various ways you could look at this. I mean, part of it is just the realities of the current market and where things are, but also Prodigy perhaps seeking a sale, looking to cut costs now, get into a position to sell the company, and looking for bids. And I think that I would not be surprised to see Prodigy get sold to another, potentially somebody in the industry. I don't know if House of Disc would be interested, maybe Innova, given what we've seen so far between those two companies and the relationship between their ownership. You could see a sale of Prodigy by the end of this year. I would not be shocked. Is Prodigy quote unquote dead? No, but things are tough right now, and I don't know how. Without being able to look at the books, hard to say. Is bankruptcy a possibility? I don't know, but the combination of the end of COVID, overbuying, and extrapolating trends, which we've seen from a lot of companies, expecting sales trends to continue. And then kind of the PR disasters that they've been going through the last few months. That's a very bad combination of things for Prodigy right now.
And that's the thing about it. It's like when I think about this purchase, I juxtapose it against the House of Disc purchases. House of Discs went and bought brands outright. And while they consolidated certain departments, marketing, manufacturing, distribution, they maintained the independent brand image of each of these companies. You still buy Discmania discs. You still buy Castoplast discs that have their own distinct flavor, personality, plastics, and molds. At this point, like, why would you want to purchase the brand outright?
You wouldn't.
Right,
I mean,
you don't.
And I think House of Discs is probably hurting badly right now as well.
That's probably true. And so, like, what when I look at Prodigy, I think, what are the assets that you want to take away from Prodigy that would be of value, but separate you from the PR absolute disaster that they've been dealing with? There's some of their molds, like the
Sure.
PA3 and especially their A series, incredibly popular. Those are molds, and you talk to a lot of players who talk about kind of the uniqueness of some of them. I think there are a handful of molds, maybe half a dozen, that sell really well that you'd be interested in purchasing. You may be interested in purchasing the equipment for the manufacturing side, and then maybe this is just me speaking, I don't know sales figures, the NHL deal. And the rights to the NHL branding.
I wonder if that's worked out well. I mean, it's really cool, but how much are they paying for licensing?
I don't know.
And how are the sales? Did they cover the cost of the licensing?
I have 4 of them, so
Josh single-handedly holding up Prodigy.
That's honestly the most discs that I have bought in like 2 years. Is the Prodigy NHL stuff. So,
I mean, this is canary in a coal mine a little bit, right? The Kevin and Väinö departures.
Yeah,
I think it's a tough time in the manufacturing side of the industry, and maybe it's a tough time everywhere. I mean, I was just looking, Jomez numbers. Okay, ready?
yeah.
This is final round front 9 views on the YouTube channel at the Preserve.
Okay.
Most recent U.S. big tournament, right? 2020, 560,000 views. 2021, 300,000 views. 2022, 290,000 views. 2023, 167,000 views. 2024, 146,000 views. Now, sure, there's the tail of videos being on YouTube for a while, but that's not the difference here. There is, whether it's the algorithm not showing people disc golf as much, whether it's the transition to people watching more live, whatever it is, the top of the funnel is getting smaller for disc golf on the media front at the same time as we're seeing sales slow down across the industry on discs.
That is such a good point, and a good way to phrase it, because that was my first initial thought was, well, more people are watching live, but if Jomez is truly the funnel, which you identify, the point is that you're always refilling the top of that funnel that is trickling to live. And
that's why the Pro Tour bought Jomez,
yes,
right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
You have to think.
But
here's the thing, you say Prodigy, maybe who wants to buy, what assets do you want? Do you want the brand? I still think the brand has value in the South. I think that there's a regional, and in Europe potentially, I think there's a regionality there. And if the price is right, you might want to buy the company, right? It's not like all of Prodigy's discs are really that different from other people's discs. So much of it is image and PR, and Prodigy has done themselves absolutely no favors at any point in the last 5 years on the image front.
And that's what I'm saying, because like you said, there aren't that many differences. Why buy that brand then, right? And maybe you want the plastic types, right? So that you can start selling 300 plastic, buzzes or rocks, whatever company buys it. But yeah, you're right. There isn't that much difference. And so why would you want...
Are these other companies even going to be in a spot where they want to make an acquisition right now? I mean, I guess if the price is right, anything is possible.
Sure.
But like, this is not an expansionary time.
No.
Like, you're not like, oh, I need to buy more machines. I need to have more manufacturing capacity. It's like, no. Everybody already loaded up during COVID, and now it's like, ooh, like wholesale's down.
Huh.
So it's an interesting situation. What do you think? Over under Prodigy sold December 31st, 2024.
It's a quick timeline, but you have to, I mean, if that's the intention, you got to think it's already in the works. So I think sold or some drastic change. I mean, you discussed the potential of bankruptcy. How long are they going to operate in the
I don't know. I certainly have no... the slashing of costs by laying off people and cutting your big, heavy, expensive sponsorships, like that probably buys you lots of time, if not makes you into a position to like regrow from a smaller base.
Possibly.
So I don't know, but
give me probably the over, but I would think if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in 2025.
Okay. Very interesting. If you have more information about the Prodigy situation, if you're a former employee of Prodigy, please email. You can reach us both at upshot@ultiworld.com. If you want to email me directly, anonymity guaranteed, charlie@ultiworld.com. Okay, Josh, PDGA rules update. Member comment period just closed. I haven't even looked at these yet. So here we go. Rule changes for 2025 proposed. The public comment period ended on June 30th. Can I take you through them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. These are the major changes. This establishes that players may use up to 2 timeouts per round. Players occasionally get into situations where additional time is necessary to establish footing or execute their shot. So they can take the proposed addition is to add 60-second timeouts up to twice per round. It can be made at any time during the 30-second excessive time period. And they have to indicate to the group that they wish to use one of their timeouts. You cannot use them retroactively. So you can't get like time violationed and then be like, actually, I want a timeout. And so, yeah, what do you think about that one? They're already doing this on the Pro Tour, right?
I think
we've seen somebody took a timeout recently.
So here's my question. Let's say I'm playing at, Northwood Black, right?
Okay.
And Brutal Rough. And in the front 9, I take 2 timeouts because I I'm accessing my disc, but then I get in there and I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't bring the right disc. I got to get another one, so I use my timeouts. Like, does that mean that, because this only matters if you effectively start calling the 30 seconds more precisely. And does that mean then that you're going to punish people once they've used their timeouts if they're in just unimaginably rough and difficult places?
Maybe.
I
mean, you it's going to be group based.
Yeah.
And like, is anybody going to care at a C tier? No. By the way, they explicitly say bathroom break requests do not count towards your timeouts.
Yeah.
So that's a separate thing if you need to take a bathroom break. I'm fine with this. I think this makes sense. I think codifying like give me an extra chunk of time to make this tricky shot is a smart way to do things. And even if they don't use this rule all the time, and people are permitting 60 seconds per shot instead of the 30 that's on the rule book, at least you have the recourse to stop people from wasting tons of time, especially at the highest level of the sport.
Sure.
Where we have seen more enforcement of time, and I think that will trickle down to A tiers, B tiers, and so forth.
I guess you can say to a card mate, hey, like, looks like it's pretty rough in there. Do you need to use a timeout? And that is a soft way of being like, hey, hurry up.
Right.
Like, I'm cognizant of the time that you are taking. So it's fine. We'll see. I I'm just not optimistic that this is going to solve the problem.
Well, that's fair. I don't think it will solve the problem, but it is at least a useful tool to have in the rule book.
Yeah.
They're adding flex starts to the competition manual, and they're like explicitly talking about shotgun starts and staggered starts and how those work. And so I don't really, obviously this has already been heavily in practice. They're just putting it into the rule book because flex starts weren't already in there. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that.
Seems fine. No issues.
They want to expand the use of video evidence to allow players to get rulings on course markings. Because in the rules right now, it says video evidence or other media is not allowed for the purpose of making rulings for sanctioned play. Now they're updating it to say, or, assuming that they adopt these rules, which last year they basically adopted all the rules. Photo or video evidence may only be used by the tournament director or a tournament official to clarify the meaning of course markings that indicate teeing areas, regulated areas, restricted routes, etc. So essentially, if there's some weird line on the course and you're not sure whether it marks OB or if it's something else, you can take a picture or send a video to the TD and say, hey, what is this line? Is this OB? And they can give you a ruling. Or, hey, where is this Mando? Like, it's on this tree, but, like, where is the restricted airspace? You can get that kind of clarification. Once again, this seems to be a completely sensible update to the rules, and, like, I'm in favor of more photo and video stuff being possible where it makes sense from a competition standpoint.
This does not permit, though, your disc is on the line, you take a picture of it and say, is this in or out?
Correct.
Right. Like that is not, that is still going to be the determination of the card and must be determined by the card. You cannot just take a picture and use that as your means to justify. It also means that on the Pro Tour or where there is live video evidence, you are not going to be able to reference that video evidence in order to make determinations as well.
They are empowering TDs to assign local players who don't have a PDGA number or a rating to the appropriate division and specify to the player where they are eligible to play, addressing member concerns about, quote, sandbagging, end quote, by non-members, which I love that that's actually on the website. So if they're like, they play with Joe every week and they know he's pretty good and he should play MA1, they can tell him, you're not allowed to play MA2 even though you don't have a PDGA number or a rating.
I remember there was a local tournament that I played in a couple of years ago where the top prize was something like for amateurs was like really good, or it was the payouts, like the credit, right, for like store credit was really good, like hundreds of dollars to the store. And I knew a guy who did not have a PDGA number who played down a division from the year before because he wanted to make $200 in merchandise credit.
Trash.
I know.
Now that can't happen. TDs can say, nuh-uh. Here's the next one. TDs are no longer required to provide trophies to divisions with a single player in order to make it easier for TDs to run solo divisions for underserved populations. It also caps the number of trophies awarded at first through third place. You good with that?
Great. Yeah.
Seems fine, right?
Yeah.
Love this. Requiring restrooms at C tiers and above. This is from the notes, not the rules. Restroom access is a basic need. Tournament directors need to provide at least one bathroom available for players. The already existing pass-through bathroom fee should make this a simple matter. So you have to have a bathroom accessible to all players, available at least an hour before the first tee time, available throughout the schedule, and a reasonable walking distance from the course or courses being played.
Love this. I saw some people complaining that this isn't feasible for C tiers. But how much for a portable bathroom for a weekend?
You're allowed to pass it through the fee.
Yeah, it can't be more than like what would you imagine? Like $250 max.
I don't know, but with delivery, it might be a little more than that. But the actual rental of the unit is probably not very much. Yeah. I just think this is obvious stuff.
It is. Yeah.
Love it. Then they're going to like restructure the competition manual, whatever.
But that's intended to publish 2026 version.
Right.
So, yeah.
They are also going to reduce the reading level to an 8th or 9th grade reading level. The current version is at an 11th grade reading level.
Okay.
8th and 9th graders are going to be good to go. They're going to understand the dress code. Let's see. This is minor changes, so we'll just go through really quickly. Players can now will be able to self-call violations without getting a second or from a player or a tournament official. This is just like a spirit of the game update. So if you want to call a violation on yourself, you can just do it. You don't have to get an approval from somebody else.
Okay.
A player's throw from a lie determined by a spotter's call is automatically a provisional. So if the spotter screws up, you're not.
Spotter says you're OB.
Yeah.
You go to the drop zone.
Yeah.
You play the drop zone. Realize that you're in bounds.
Auto provisional.
Love this.
This is so smart.
I know this is on a minimum, like on a minor change. I think this is one of the most impactful changes that they made in the rules.
Yeah, I like it too.
Love it.
The order of play at a drop zone is being updated. The playing order is the order in which the lies were established if they're at the same exact distance from the target.
I think that's how everyone played it anyway.
I guess they're just specifying it in the rules. Improper relief is now a misplay, as opposed to, I don't know, this is like just converging improper relief and misplays for incorrect lie into one rule.
Okay.
Let's see. If you intentionally skip a hole, they've clarified the consequence. If you miss a hole for non-competitive reasons, like you have to go to the bathroom beyond what is already allowable in the rules, versus competitive reasons, like if you think taking par +4 is better than actually playing the hole. If that's where you're at, you should rethink your hobbies. Legalizing certain methods of applying custom graphics to a disc. You're allowed to modify a disc by using hot stamp, ink printing, or dye that adheres to the approved specifications for that disc model. That's cool.
Yeah. Any graphics that cause the disc to be out of specification. I think that's a nice way to put it. Is the new change.
If a disc is OB, there's no need to search for 3 minutes because the lie can be determined without locating the disc. So they just added a note that you don't have to go start the 3-minute timer if the disc went OB. You can just play it from the OB edge. And then let's see, a bunch of stuff that's not that important. Tobacco is banned at A tiers. What was it before? Just juniors?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So tobacco is banned at A tiers. Interesting. Caddies may only caddy for one player at a time. Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Clothing that is damaged during the round is acceptable for the rest of the round. It specifies that. So if you go in the thorn bush and you tear your shirt apart, you can't get called for having improper dress.
You know what the best part about this is, Charlie? Most of these rule changes only happen when there is a dispute of some kind that brings this to attention. The only reason that they are clarifying that this does not get penalized is because somebody stroked somebody else in a tournament because their clothes got damaged. If you experience this, please email us because I want to hear this story so bad.
Amazing. So that's it. It's a pretty light year for updates compared to what we've seen in the last few years. But there you go. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up, upshot@ultiworld.com, with any of your rules thoughts for 2025. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we have a jam-packed 30-second rule, including disc golf. That's DISS golf. We got our Kendrick Drake beef happening in disc golf, Josh. President's Cup teams have been announced for the European Open. And what else we got? We got a couple of other items as well. We got Pursewatch on the way as well. Stay with us.
At Pound, the quality of our gear runs deeper than the stitching. That's why we make everything right here in the US, employing highly skilled, well-paid professionals. From bomb-proof Cordura fabric to YKK zippers and recycled plastics, we source the highest quality US materials to make the most comfortable, durable pack in disc golf. Our lifetime warranty stays with the pack, not the purchaser. So regardless of how you find us, we will be here to make sure your pack stays on the course and out of the landfill. Pound's integrity is held together with more than just thread.
Welcome back to the Upshot. It is time for 30-second rule, where we get 30 seconds to talk about a variety of topics. And if we go over, there really are no consequences unless I take a timeout. Josh, take it away.
First one, Latitude announced Project Grip. This is their project that they say has been in the works for a while, since 2022, where they are essentially doing a soft, grippy plastic skin, being the center and the fight plate, with the sturdy, stiff rim. This is sounds just like tone discs from Clash, or at least the same concept. They have a U.S. patent pending right now that, if you go look, was initially filed in like 2021. So I guess they've had this patent a while. Clash has filed their patent with Finland's patent office. So interested to see how that plays out and whether or not this is actually truly patentable technology. It feels to me like it's just another disc, and so it feels unlikely. Innova then posted a video as well, arguing that they had a disc that they've produced like this since early 2020, and that is what inspired Halo Plastic. And so, everybody's getting in on the two-tone, two-plastic game.
I mean, people are going to have to be working hard to figure out innovation at this point in the disc manufacturing universe, and I am all for it. If you want to spend money on R&D and figure out some new way to put plastics together that can make either a cooler feeling disc or maybe a better flying disc, let's go for it. I think Latitude 64 probably does more of this than anybody, or at least they market it more than anybody. So, yeah, interesting. A little skirmish there. Innova, like trying to be like, yeah, we already did this.
It kind of felt like a weird post, I'm not going to lie. Calvin finished last cash at the Sweden Open in order to extend his cash streak now to 47 consecutive Elite Series or Majors. That is the longest streak in MPO. Calvin, I guess, had a nightmare of travel difficulties getting there, and I think he played the first round blind after getting in at like 5 a.m., and so, this is impressive. You might think, oh, last cash, like whatever. No, this is an impressive feat. Again, congratulations to Calvin.
Jet lag, brutal travel, barely make it, and then you keep your cash streak alive? Yeah, let's go. Could have dropped out.
Could have. No one would have blamed him. So, Paige Pierce also becomes the first woman to $400,000 in PDGA earnings. Paige is at $400,000. FPO notes Katrina Allen is at $362,000. Kristen Tatar $294,000. Missy Gannon $271,000. There is an additional news as well. So congratulations to Paige to begin. Right now as well, Paul Macbeth is in danger of losing his top MPO cash, most cash earned all time in PDGA earnings.
Oh yeah,
$748,070 for Macbeth. Ricky is at $743,406. Only $5,000 behind Macbeth. People thought that Rick might pass Macbeth this past weekend, and then Macbeth reminded us that he loves playing in Europe.
Yeah, as of this most recent weekend, Paul's actually now at 751 with his Swedish Open earnings, and Rick is at 744. But it is definitely within the realm of possibility that Ricky surpasses Paul this year.
Dare I say likely?
Maybe so. Given the way that the two have been playing so far, I think you'd probably bet on it happening more often than not.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty interesting. Paige Pierce, 400K. That puts her 8th all-time in all of disc golf. Macbeth, Wysocki, Schultz, Feldberg, Climo, Heimberg, LeCastro, and then Pierce. And I will note, Macbeth and Wysocki way out on their own. They're in the, around 750K. Schultz and Feldberg are at 440.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big gap. But I'll ask you this, Josh. Which player is the first to $1 million in PDGA earnings? Or do we not know who they are yet? Have we not heard their name? Because they will come in the future.
Gannonbur's my answer. I think even if it's true that if it's likely that it's somebody we like whose name we don't know yet, if it's a young player, if that's your belief, the problem is that means you have to think that like it's not going to happen for 12 to 15 years, because that's how long.
By the way, Gannon is at 264,000.
Yeah, I mean, and he's 19.
I think the question for me is like, could Ricky get there? Right, if he wins another Pro Tour championship or two, he's going to be knocking. He could be knocking on the door of 800 by the end of this season.
He could,
and 100,000 a year is very very possible. We've seen it.
Very possible. He might.
So like 3-4 more years of good play, it might be Rick.
Yes.
But you could also see maybe Calvin catches him, or maybe it's one of the young guys.
The depth of the field in 4 years, I just don't even think we can imagine it right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Rick's going to have to be
point.
dialed in if he's going to keep that going.
I think I would still say Ricky's the most likely.
To hit the million first?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair.
Anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
What's next?
President's Cup teams. They have been announced, and we found out today the results of the fan votes. So,
really quick, just for those who are not aware, President's Cup is the USA versus Europe exhibition that they do the day before the European Open. So it's coming up. When is it going to start? It's going to be the 17th of July, I believe.
Okay.
And then the tournament will take place over the 18th to the 21st.
So the teams are chosen by the June 5th edition of the PDGA official world rankings. And then there are slots for fan votes and slots for captain's choice. Captains are, I'm not exactly sure how they're chosen, but they are non-playing members. Seppu Paju is captain for Team Europe this year. Over on Team USA is Paul Ulibarri. And your teams are as follows. For Team Europe, Kristen Tatar and Evelina Salonen are your 2 FPO representatives. The fact that there's only 2 FPO players, I think it's probably just because of the amount of U.S. women that used to come over to Europe. I mean, it really was like Paige and Katrina in the past, and that was it. And so that makes sense why in the past. But I don't know. I think that it probably should be expanded to at least a third or fourth.
So yeah, right now they have 6 MPO and 2 FPO. I think you should really go to 5 and 3.
I agree.
Or 4 and 4.
Could. Now, there are only 5 American women playing in European Open this year.
Fair point.
So, but you would anticipate that number goes up every year, right? So, 5 and 3. 5 and 3 is fine with me for now, but I think we need to make that switch. Kristen and Evelina are your FPO players. Simon Lazat, Nicholas Antila, Väinö Mäkelä, Jakub Semerad, and Albert Tom. All familiar faces over on Team Europe. Again, this is chosen by your PDGA World Rankings, and so that makes sense.
Albert Tom got the fan vote.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Albert Tom is the fan vote. The rest were chosen by the rankings. Over on Team USA, Missy Gannon and Ella Hansen are going to be your representatives. Is Owen going to Europe?
I'm guessing.
I'm assuming no.
Given,
I know Holland isn't, which is why.
Given that Owen's not in.
Yeah, she. I think she's ahead of both of them in the rankings. So.
Oh, you know what's interesting? she's listed in the President's Cup registration. That just has to be wrong. That just has to be wrong.
Yeah. Own is not listed for European Open right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I think she's just not going to be there. She would have played had she been
right. So Missy and Ella are your FPO representatives for the Team USA. Calvin Heimberg, Gannon Burr, Ricky Wysocki, Eagle McMahon are your world rankings entries, and Paul Macbeth won your fan vote. And so that is your Team USA. We still have MPO captains' choices to be announced.
Who's going to get picked? MPO players. One each.
Okay, over on Team USA, Kyle Klein or Anthony Barella. Probably knowing Paul, if it's Yuli who's making the pick, I'm going AB. I think AB is going to get the nod.
Hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
Especially given the way he played last year.
Yeah, exactly. Over on your...
Who's the next highest rated MPO Euro player?
Lauri Lehtinen. Is the next one, and then you have to go a ways down to Juna Heinonen is the next one after that. And then you got Mauri Vilman.
I mean, you could go with Vilman,
You could go with Vilman.
I don't know if I would take Lehtinen right now if I was Seppo. Right, that world ranking is 2 years of time.
Yeah.
Lowry hasn't necessarily been at that level, although he's been back. Right, we were looking at this a couple weeks ago. He's been back.
He's played well in Europe, hasn't he?
Second at Norway Open in end of May. Fourth at Nokia Open. Third at Heinola. 20th at Turku.
But he took, seventh at Copenhagen as well. Yeah, maybe
1032 rated. Maybe you just do it.
He is the highest by like a margin.
By a margin.
Right. Vilman is 1026 rated. And then after that, if you get down like Albert Tom's 1023, Yasin Nieminen.
I will say Vilman is just straight up playing better than Lehtinen right now.
Is he?
So I think I still would say I would take him. Yeah.
Okay.
He was third at Turku, second at Swedish.
Yeah.
He's won a couple events this year. He's clearly outperformed Lehtinen to this point.
Mauri is
this season.
Lowry does get the benefit of being Finnish as well, which Seppo is also Finnish.
True.
I think Lowry is going to be picked, but I don't know if that's necessarily the right call.
I'd take Vilman.
Okay.
I think he gives you a better chance to win. Who's got the best shot here? I mean, obviously the U.S. is always going to be the favorite. They feel more favoritey this year to me than they did last year.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But I mean, here's the thing. They probably shouldn't. Because Kristen and Evelina should straight up outgun Missy and Ella, assuming Kristen is healthy.
Well,
and Evelina's
putting was horrendous this weekend. I don't know.
We'll see.
I agree with you, right, on the abstract sense, right? They should do well in FPO.
They should mop the floor in FPO.
But and you look at the back end of USA with Eagle and Paul. Like, how confident are you that those guys are going to outplay like Jakub and Tom?
I think they split that.
I think they
split, and then you've got your three other guys. The problem here's my big problem.
On a good day, Simon and Nicholas could beat anyone.
Yes. Yep.
It was close last year. It was really close.
The problem is that I think regardless of who you pick over on captain's choice that we were discussing, I think AB is just going to toast them.
I mean, it's just a huge advantage for U.S. to add an additional MPO depth.
That's exactly right. The deeper you go,
Europe should want to change. They should want to change it to 3 and 5 because of their FPO skill set
and because of the lack of depth on the MPO side relative to the MPO.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right. Onwards
to what is most definitely the most important part of this segment. The Drew v. Silas beef and the diss track. It's noteworthy.
All right.
One thing I want to point out.
Let's watch it.
Before we watch it, I want to say both Drew and Silas have removed all these things from their socials. So
did they drop
yes,
it
they're all gone.
Oh no.
They've deleted all of them.
No. That's not how things go around here.
No.
I want to see Silas on stage in LA with the whole crowd. Wah. Here we go. Here's Drew Gibson. He started it by doing like a form. He's trying to take on Silas's form. Mm-hmm. He tried to collab with Silas on Instagram, and Silas did not hit the collab. Okay, so here's Drew's video.
Hey guys, Drew Gibson here. I love form. There's been a lot of form talk lately. People are saying Silas Schultz has the best form. So I just wanted, what he did the other day really inspired me to come out here and grind on my own form and try to see if I can't get a little bit better and maybe hit these gaps a little bit better for these big tournaments we're playing.
All right, so that's Drew hitting a tree as he tries to, make fun of Silas's form. Silas claps back with the quote-unquote song of the summer. Take a listen.
I'm just kidding. It's a Drew Gibson diss track because he was making fun of me. I got some haters in my way, but I don't really see y'all. You say fat jokes are overplayed. Wait. Just like your career, dog, just like you on YouTube, just like you on lead cards. You say that you're the form god, then why'd your arm fall apart? Your form is pretty great, but I'm like Curry, you're Klay Thompson. You didn't have my number saved, and you didn't ask for no permission. Now you all up in my mentions. You want in collaboration like him as you love fishing, but you fishing for attention. I hope you lose some weight from all of this clout chasing. Cause how you got a dad bod and you ain't got no children, and you not tough, you soft, I can tell by your nose piercing. I've seen you fat and buff, and neither one of them scare me. Your height is pretty low, but your voice is high as the ceiling. You got a tough dog, but I got that dog in me. You wanna talk form? I'll do a form review for 50. Until then, please keep my name out your vocabulary. We could go fan for fan. The result for you will be scary. The people will side with me, not a washed up, tatted up YouTuber version of Garrett Gerthy. You wanna start some beef? I'll chop it up, man. This is surgery. Seeing you as a threat is something that never occurred to me. Money, power, respect, and yo, you don't get the third from me. Need skin grafts for my paragraphs getting burned in the third degree. Michaela don't want some shoes. She wants a ring and an anniversary. Y'all been together how long? Get on the knees, common courtesy. I let bygones be bygones cause I throw the disc perfectly. All about results, ain't nothing about looking pretty. I say bring back the old Drew with the glasses, looking nerdy. The old Drew with no YouTube, who cared about getting birdies. The old Drew who was 18 but looked like he was in his 30s. The old Drew who stepped on courses, people actually get worried.
Wow. Josh, I gotta say, I think Silas wins this one.
Silas definitely wins this one. Discmania has released a diss track disc. So
oh yeah, I want to put a picture of that up.
You can go find and buy. It does not come with the album cover, which I am so disappointed by.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't. It's only the disc. It is not the album cover.
Oh no.
I know.
That's such a missed opportunity.
It is. It really is. I love this beef. I'm here for it. I think this is exactly the kind of thing that disc golf needs. It's like this, these side plots. I mean, they're just, disc golf does not have enough interpersonal drama that reaches the front of like the viewer's experience. And here's the thing. True sports fans can argue about whether or not they think this is valuable. But in the era of Drive to Survive, Hard Knocks, all your sports documentaries that are going into the interpersonal relationships of players, like that is what sports content is being built around today. On the outside of like the actual professional sports, I think that sports are better with this and people engage more with it. And so I think this is hilarious. I love it. I love that they're selling discs from it. I'm here for it.
Oh no, dude. I mean, just like Drew got all mad because like he's like, you attacked my family because Silas is like telling him to propose to his girlfriend. Oh my
she wants
God,
it ring and get on a knee and not
Garrett
just
Gerthy catching strays. Oh no. Come on, man. This is so stupid, but it's just so
it's
funny.
So
like,
funny.
Drew, what are you doing out here, man? What are you doing? You're just going to drop in here and like just take shots at like for no reason.
Like, that's the crazy thing.
You got it. What was coming to
you. Yes. Why is he like why Silas?
Like calling this Kendrick Drake is so wrong because like neither of these guys is like in that zone. But shout out to Silas.
He put some work into that.
Absolutely clowned Drew on this one, dude.
Yeah. Put some work into that.
Oh, my gosh. All right. To wrap up today, we have Pursewatch. We did not get it in on the preserve last week, so we're going to catch you up. Josh, Here's your purse watch for Preserve. We'll start there, and then we'll do Swedish Open. 57,932 MPO, 27,975 FPO for a total of 85,907. That's right in the same zone where everything has been. 170 players, money per player comes in at 505. That's slightly on the lower side this season, but nothing crazy. $10,000 to the MPO winner, $6,500 to the FPO winner, up 6.4% from 2023.
Yeah, nice bump.
Pretty standard stuff. Swedish Open, 44,691 for MPO, 16,679 for FPO, total of 61,370. That is the largest payout so far on the DGPT Europe Elite Series slate. Although it also has the largest field.
Yes, it's the lowest dollars per person, though.
Yes. This is why we pay attention to this. 8,020 MPO winner, 4,010 FPO winner.
Best FPO payout.
Let's
so
see.
far.
Did they run this tournament last year? They did, right? It was 50,350 a year ago. And that means that it's up hugely. Let's take a look. It is 21% up on a year ago.
Which tracks with the trend. When you join the Pro Tour, you bring a lot of money has to be brought in.
Yeah. I mean, Copenhagen Open, though, and Turku Open a year ago were in the 20s. So they're up well over double. This one was at 50. It goes to 61. And so we'll keep an eye. We've got one more. We got Krokul Open coming up before the European Open in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that is it for today's show. Awesome stuff. We've got more European Open talk coming Thursday. We'll also get you ready for Des Moines Challenge. Somebody in the Discord, was it in the Discord? Gannon by 12, they said.
Oh, yeah.
Gannon by 12 strokes. We'll see about that. And we might have some more for you, too, because there's just, I don't know, feels like we got some stuff to talk about all of a sudden. So thank you so much for tuning in. Give us your thoughts and feedback anytime. Upshot at ultiworld.com. We want to hear your comments. Join up, get a subscription, join us in the Discord, listen to all of our Inside the Circle segments. discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe. For Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. We'll talk to you on the 4th of July right here on The Upshot.